Hello everyone, welcome back for yet another video by yours truly here. Today, finally, at long last, after about a week of waiting for this thing to come in, I have received in the mail the Star Trek Beyond Blu-ray set, complete with the USS Franklin, or a model of it, inside this box here. This is something that could have only been pre-ordered or ordered via Amazon.com. I don't know if it has been available through other means, but I'm sure there are some other back channel ways of getting this thing. Unlike the Target retail exclusive, which featured different covers for the box art, and unlike Best Buy, which had the Steelbook, and unlike even Walmart, that had just the simple Blu-ray combo with the replicas or small replicas of the ships from the film. This one features a larger yet more detailed model by QMX, featuring the USS Franklin as seen in the film. And as it says on the top of the box here, it comes with a version of the film in 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray 3D, Blu-ray, Digital HD, that would be the iTunes copy for those of you wondering, and of course the USS Franklin. So, here it is. The box is somewhat smaller than I expected, but actually that's about right considering what's inside. So let me open it up so I can share with you all in the joy right here on the spot. But before I do that, just let me show you the front of the box, or just the box itself. So as you can see, you've got your contents up there, and it also shows you the Franklin going into warp, or about to, or something of that nature, and the Star Trek Beyond logo. And on the side, you have Captain Kirk there, or yeah, Captain Kirk. On this side, we have, oh my god, I forgot her name. You know, the other character. So please forgive me for forgetting her name. It's been a while since I've seen the film. Nothing on the top, and of course, just the barcode on the bottom. And on the back, it just basically recaps what it already says on the front. 4K, Ultra HD, Blu-ray 3D, Blu-ray, HD, iTunes copy, etc. And of course, the Franklin collectible. And it shows you it is 3 discs with the model. So let me open it up. And we can see what goodness lies in here. I have to say that this is probably the best of the J.J. Abrams Star Trek films. Those who know me well, or even half-ass know me, know that I was very critical of the other 2 films, especially Into Darkness. Star Trek Into Darkness, the last movie, before this one. And for various reasons, which I will not get into at this time, but needless to say, this one was the best of the bunch. This one was more original series-like, more in the spirit, the feel of the original cast than the other 2 movies. So this was a substantial improvement, and this was a story that didn't rehash on anything original. Yet there are many, if not several, references to Star Trek's history in this film. I won't spoil it for you, but if you are a fan of Star Trek Enterprise, there are a whole bunch of them in this movie, a whole bunch of references to the show. I'll leave it to you, the viewer, to find out for yourself if you haven't seen it already. So yeah, let's get to the contents. Alright, so let's figure out how to open this thing. Oh, from the top. And I hope I can get it out of here. See, this box looks really nice. I don't want to screw it up, but knowing my luck, I will, because I am clumsy that way. Oh, that was easy. So it opens up just like that, and the goodness just slides out, or not, slides out. White box, I'm assuming the ship's in there. And of course you got the movie there. Box pretty much empty, nothing in there. So let me put that aside. And here is the sets of the movies. As I previously mentioned, all the versions are in this package. Awesome cover there. Nice and glossy. Kind of can feel the font there. You see it kind of popping out there. And on the back, a little bio about it, or synopsis. And, of course, the part I'm also looking forward to is the iTunes copy, because I am an Apple person and I like putting copies of my favorite movies, or at least all of the movies that I like, in iTunes to have a copy of. Just because sometimes I don't feel like using or ripping or even watching the disc. I'd rather just tap on my phone or tap on Apple TV and watch it. But anyway, kind of shows you what the features are in the film. If the camera can stay with me here. There we go. Got deleted scenes, the Beyond the Darkness, story origins, Enterprise takedown, destroying an icon, trekking in the desert, on location in Dubai, To Live Long and Prosper, 50 Years of Star Trek for Leonard and Antoine, and more. So yeah, and that is the film. And now let me look at what's inside this, which I already know what it is, but I can't wait to see it. Ever since I've seen this movie, which I've seen about, I think, 3 or 4 times in theaters at the time, I like the Franklin. Probably one of the ships I like the most out of the J.J. Abrams films. Of course, it very closely resembles the NX-01 from Star Trek Enterprise. I guess that was the point. So anyway, here it is. The ship, or the model itself, is contained in this plastic thing here, which holds the ship and the stand that it can be mounted to. And as you can see, just from a top glance, it looks strikingly similar to the NX-01. The same aesthetic, almost, same era, I guess, if you want to say that, despite it being several years away from the NX-01. At least in terms of its continuity, I suppose. But anyway, this was supposedly Earth's first Warp 4 ship, or its first ship to go as fast as Warp 4, which for the most part makes this I wouldn't call it a prequel, but for the most part this ship was before Jonathan Archer's famous NX-01. And for reasons that become very well known in the film, this ship was on the planet that you see in the film, of course. But anyway, let's get right to the model. So this comes right off without any effort, and of course, what I just now realized is you got 2 plastics holding the model together. So for those of you who are worried about mail issues, the model definitely won't be damaged this way. It's got plenty of plastic to keep it in place. It doesn't move at all. And then of course there's a separate slab that this is kind of on top of that contains the stand. So here is the stand. Take it out, and of course, so that's the base, and here's the stand here. And of course the stand at the top says USS Franklin, Starship Class, registry number NX-326. Nice little Starfleet insignia there. Excuse me. And on the back it says QMX Minimaster Vehicle, Star Trek Beyond. Of course it's got the Franklin logo there, and of course all the Star Trek and QMX licensing and copyright information. So I believe it mounts, or the stand is kind of applied to some effect like this, right? And then, let me get this out. It's almost like opening one of the Eaglemoss ships. And this snaps right off. Gotta be careful. There's a little tape involved. And here is the USS Franklin. My initial impression of it is surprisingly very, very light. Of course, it is plastic. This is not the metal model that was seen around the time of San Diego Comic Con, I believe. But this is definitely a very close sister of it. It's very detailed, considering what it is. You got the ship's name and registry there, which is actually backwards in terms of how it's normally presented on Federation or Starship hulls. You've got the registry number itself above the actual name of the ship. Of course, there's been a lot of controversy over the idea that this is called the USS Franklin and not just simply the Franklin, just like the Enterprise NX-01 was not called USS Enterprise NX-01. It was simply just called Enterprise NX-01, especially for a ship that allegedly predated the Federation, even earlier than Archer's NX-01. Although that theory has been debated by some people, saying that, well, this ship was still technically in service at the time the Federation was founded, and after the Federation officially became the Federation, all of Starfleet's military, all of the Makos, and all of the various ships in the fleet all became USS at that point in time. So anyway, moving right along, it's all plastic, no metal components that I can think of. Plastic, plastic, plastic all across the saucer section, the nacelles and stuff, the nacelles pylons themselves, even the Bussard collectors or the Rams groups or however way you want to call them. They're kind of like an orange-ish color. It kind of reflects the model as seen in the, not model, but it reflects the ship as seen in the film. Very, very cool. On the bottom there, you've got some more registry numbers there on both sides. And this appears to be a magnetic strip that sticks to the bottom of the stand. I noticed that slightly earlier. And here's another view of the ship. Very, very cool looking. Very reminiscent of the Jonathan Archer era. And also, it's a lot of TOS in here. The nacelles look way more original series looking than the Enterprise itself in this timeline, to be honest. Now this looks more like a Starfleet ship as opposed to some of the other quote-unquote Federation ships seen in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies. So yeah, again, this is something that could have only have been bought on Amazon. Of course, me being a lover of Star Trek ships, this was a no-brainer for me, and of course I love the Franklin itself. Makes a worthy companion to the massive growing fleet, especially Eaglemoss ships, and I'm assuming this ship will also be in the Eaglemoss collection at some point down the line as a special. But anyway, this is definitely worth getting. It was priced at like $49, $50 with some shipping or something like that. And it's definitely worth it, if not no reason other than for the model alone. Of course, a person like me, I really only needed just the Blu-ray and the digital copy. I didn't really need all the 4K and the what's the other one? The 4K and the 3D. I mean, I'm sure maybe at some point in the line I might be glad I have it, but right now it's not really the necessity as much as I just wanted to have the ship too, and the regular copy of the Blu-ray with the digital. And as I mentioned before, the model itself attaches to the stand via magnets, which I'm assuming goes like that. Latches right on. It's not strong enough, so don't try holding it upside down. Now, depending on how you do this, you might be able to put the model up a certain way. Of course, maybe I should do this differently because there we go. Got it backwards the first time around. So it slaps in place just like that. And there the model rests. next to the Blu-ray itself. Again, this will run you about $50 or more slightly on Amazon in the United States. It includes the model and the stand as you see here, as well as your 4K slash Blu-ray slash HD digital copy slash 3D version of the film. This comes in this nice and glossy slipcase. And of course, and that's it. So I would definitely pick this up if you're a Star Trek fan. If you're a Star Trek fan, if you're just a fan of the J.J. Abrams Star Trek films, this might work out for you nicely. This rounds up the collection of J.J. Abrams Star Trek home video, quote-unquote, releases in special edition form. The 2009 film came out with a special edition from Target, which featured the disc being inside of the saucer section of the Enterprise. So basically, the Blu-ray holder was the saucer section itself of the ship, which was kind of cool. Into Darkness didn't really have much going on in that area. Come to think of it, I know Amazon at the time had it being released with a phaser replica, which was kind of cool, and now this one by Amazon has the ship, which is probably something that I think they should have all done. But anyway, I would definitely go and pick this up. It's definitely worth it if you have the extra few bucks to spare. You may or may not need any of the or all of the various editions or versions of the film that come in the set, but at least you're kind of getting a bang for your buck, so to speak. So yeah, I will give this a 2 thumbs up. And go pick it up. The Franklin is definitely worth it. And of course you have the movie here, so that way you can rip the movie, not rip it, but put that movie in your Blu-ray player or PlayStation or what have you. Put your code in iTunes and enjoy it. It is the best of the 3 Star Trek movies. So thank you all very much for watching. I'm glad I could share this all with you. And I'll catch you guys later. Live long and prosper.